Oh, I'm so happy to have you here, everybody, online and in person. Thank you. We're going to begin with our just a breathing pranayama, then do some power flow with some core work, and then we're going to end with restore. All right, so why don't we just take a comfortable seat. I always get a frog in my throat right when the camera goes on. All right. Taking a comfortable seat. So rooting down through your sits bones, sitting tall. Breathe up through the crown of your head. Shoulders on your back. Elbows below your shoulders, just sitting well, taking a good seat. Yesterday was such an amazing, powerful day. I feel like there's a shift occurring, not just weather-wise, but astrologically. We're going to have a time change coming up November 1st. There are all of these things in motion. And I feel yesterday was a sampling of it, where all these benchmarks were being met. In my world, just academically, but also with businesses. It was very exciting. So I feel as we enter into this fall season, and this hopefully new political season, that we are ready to take this paradigm shift, to jump over the broomstick, to be in that next plane. And I'm excited and eager to see where it takes me, takes all of us. The breath work that we're going to do today is going to involve a quick pranayama in and out motion. And I don't want you to worry about actively moving the breath. Once you exhale, your lungs will, like a vacuum effect, draw air in. So you're going to take your hands at your shoulders and you're lifting your elbows up. And I'll just demonstrate really quick. You're going to do a quick. So you breathe in, and you can do this through your mouth or nose, or both. And then when you turn the other way, you exhale, mouth or nose. All right? So we're going to do this for about a minute, which is going to seem like a long time. But at any time that you feel like, oh, I'm lightheaded, then you just stop, take a comfortable seat, resume normal breath, and then we'll see where we are with that. Okay? Ready? Go. 5 more breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resume regular breathing in and out through your nose, and just kind of feel the vibration of how your body responds to being oxygenated. There should be a tingling sensation. All right. We're going to begin by inhaling our arms up and then dropping your right hand, or this side, you could do your left. Inhaling up and then over. Now, when you come to your side, I want you to push down into the mat, which creates this drawing in. So you're pushing away, but it creates this circle of energy, like you're going over a ball, like you're rolling over a ball, inhaling up. So it's this cycle, push away, inhale, up. And really breathe into the side body. Exhale, come over to the other side, doing the same thing. As you push away, you draw in. There's this circle of energy that comes in and up and over. Breathing into the side body. Reaching with the fingertips. Taking active participation in your breath, coming in and out. We're waking up the body. We're opening up spaces within. And then coming up once again. This time we're going to roll over. So I'm going to remove my rolled up mat and we're just going to come forward. I like to have one leg in front of the other as to not bind. And if rolling over is this, I'm looking for an opening of your lower back as you come forward. There you go. I'm going to turn up some music. And then as you come forward, maybe you're creeping your fingers more forward and away from your body, dropping your head, relaxing your neck, your head. And then go ahead and walk your fingers over to your left. Breathing into the side body, but it's more side back body. And then walking your hands over to the right side of your body. And then inhaling up. All right, coming all the way up. Good job. Excellent. Just taking a gentle twist. Just kind of wringing out. And again, this is not a neck twist. This is a torso twist. The twist begins at the belly button. And I like to reach up through the crown of my head and then switch sides. So I push down to reach up. They call that root to rise. Taking time to feel your body this early morning and to not fear what you feel. And then come back, remove your unicorn socks. And then let's come on to cat-cow. We're going to be hands and knees. We're going to do cat-cow. Aligning your body well, so you're pushing down with your fingertips, spreading your fingers, putting your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Just aligning your body well. Now, if you feel like your elbows are wanting to bend out, hug them in towards each other, like you're squeezing a beach ball. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, undulate. Inhale. Exhale. Do this 3 more times, and I'd like you to even out your breath. So as long, whatever the count is for your inhalation, exhale for that same duration. Moving your body with your breath, and moving your breath with your body. After your 3rd time, I want you to just come on back. We're going to start right away with what's called screaming toes. And I know that seems harsh to say right after you take off your unicorn socks, but this is what we're going to do. So you have the pads of your toes underneath you. Good. And then you sit back. So this bending of the toes and sitting upon it can be quite sensational. And then some of you may be like, what? I have a lot of 10-year-olds saying, what? But I want you to reach back, sit back. And this is something where you're releasing and stretching the fascia in your bottom of your feet. But your feet help bring awareness to your whole entire body. You can massage your whole body from the soles of your feet. If you feel like at any time you need to come forward and release that sensation, even for a moment, or readjust the toes, please do that, and then come on back. And just kind of sitting here for a moment and breathing in the sensation, allowing the fascia, which is the encasement of a muscle, the netting that goes around the muscle. I often need to release and then resume. And then go ahead and come forward, and then let's tap out the top of our feet. Kind of a thank you for the release. And then sit back down. We're going to take one more twist before we begin our powerful pose. So I'd like you to take your left foot on top, cross it over, and then make sure that you're not sitting all the way over on your right hip. I want you to be able to sit squarely on your hips, crossing one leg over. The bottom foot is going to go by your outside hip, your outside left hip. Press down with the big toe, and you could hug both hands around the knee, hugging it in towards your body. If you feel ready, you could take a twist. Opposite elbow to knee. Goodness, that frog is big. And then reach up. You inhale up, and then twist from the belly button. Again, this is a torso twist, not a neck twist. So I want you to relax your head and neck. You could even put your chin by your chest. Inhale up through the crown of the head. Exhale, twist at the belly button. I'm going to try some water. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale deep. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. And then bring your legs into fire log. Yep, we're going to go right there, right away. I would like you to push down at the sides of your hips and bring your hips up a little bit just to kind of square them off. Plant them down. Flex your feet. If this is not a possible pose, if this pose is impossible, then you could use props to help build up, and so you're able to rest that limb on something to release the hip flexor. If you are not wanting to be in fire log at all, like it's just not even comfortable, then please take an alternative modified pose by taking the soles of your feet together. I like to take my inner thigh and spiral it out on both sides, pushing the inner thighs away, spiraling them around, just releasing the flesh under our bum. Flexing both feet. And if you're able to, you could do a couple of things. You can press down and sit tall and just kind of be in this pose. Or you can slowly begin your fold forward. Now this will be quite sensational in your hips, but the kind of theme for today is, again, releasing the energy out of our hips, releasing those stored emotions that we tend to encapsulate in our hips. But we got to do it with ease and with gentleness, with kindness, as we exhale any tension or stress or anxiety. As we come forward a little bit more. And perhaps a little bit more. Inhale back up to a seated position, and then we're going to take the cross on the other side. So now my right heel is, or my left heel is by my right hip, and I'm crossing my right leg over, pressing down with a big toe, hugging both hands around the knee, shoulders on the back, inhaling up. As I breathe up. Rooting down through my sits bones, inhaling up through the crown of my head. Excellent. And then taking the opposite elbow to the knee as I hook it, and then inhale up through the crown of my head. Exhale, twist. The twist begins at the belly button, allowing my shoulders on my back, wringing out my body like a dish rag. Inhaling up, exhaling, twist. Inhaling up, exhaling, twist. Nice work, everybody. And then coming out of that pose, once again, coming into your fire log, modified poses are elevating that knee up or bringing the soles of the feet together. And you could bring the heels in towards your perineum, or you may push them farther away. It's up to you. Flexing the feet. I like to push down at the sides of my hips to inhale and bring my hips up and then plant them down again. It kind of naturally squares my hips and roots them down. Spiraling the inner thigh away from center line. As I square my hips, flex my feet, I may choose to come forward. I can support my body with my hands in front of me. Inhaling into my back body, broadening the muscles in my back body, lower back, mid back, upper back. Walking my hands maybe even a little farther away from me. Relaxing my head. Breathing evenly, equally. Inhaling up. Okay, coming onto all fours. Once again, finding this place that we know so well, rolling over the toes, and let's just walk out our dog. One heel down and then the next, just bending the knees, feeling our downward facing dog, our first one of the day. Just feeling our back body, feeling our hips, feeling our hamstrings, drawing in and up with the lower belly, inhaling the hips up towards the sky. You can bend the knees, long back, hips up towards the sky. Go ahead and walk forward, bringing your feet towards your hands, and just be in this forward fold. You may want to bend your knees. You may want to rest your torso on your thighs, opening up your lower back. Taking this ragdoll pose where you clasp onto opposite elbows, shaking your head yes and no. Planting the hands, inhale into monkey pose, elongating the back. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way up. Reaching up, up, up. Exhale, hands at heart space. Go ahead and reach up again so your feet are at hip bone distance apart. Inhale up. Clasp the right wrist. I'm doing bad with my mirroring. And then reach like you're stretching that upper arm up and over. Now we're doing the standing version of what we just did earlier on our sits bones. Inhaling up, clasp the other wrist. Maybe that's what I should just do, say other wrist. Inhaling up, active fingers. Exhale, hands to heart space. We're going to just flow a little bit here. Coming to the top of your mat, planting your feet. And feeling your feet below your body. Feeling the outer edges of the feet, the inner edges. I call it the four corners of the feet. Just you could sway side to side. Feel your whole foot against the mat. And then maybe come rocking forward and back and feeling the top points of your pads of your feet and then the 2 points of your heel. As you come back and forward, and then side to side, feeling the earth below your feet. Inhaling up, exhale, come all the way down. Plant your hands, monkey pose, inhale. Exhale, press down with your hands, step back into a chaturanga. So let's start with our plank pose first. Hug in like that beach ball with your inner eyes of your inner elbows. Rock back and forth. And then exhale all the way down. Inhale up, rolling the shoulders onto your back, up dog. Roll over the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back, squaring off the hips. pointing with that heel as if you're putting a footprint on the wall behind you. Pushing into that wall. Exhale, I want you to draw that knee in and up towards your chest. Hold it there. Press back. Go back, squaring off the hips, pressing into the wall. Exhale, draw that knee in and up. Once again, hold it in and up. Press back last time. Inhale, knee in and up, and then plant it in between your hands, framing your foot with your hands. Finding your footing in your crescent lunge or lower runner's lunge as we inhale up into our crescent lunge. Again, you may want to put your hands at your hips, or if you can, if you feel comfortable with your stability, inhaling up. Bending that back knee, straightening that back knee. Every side is a little bit different, so I actually feel a little bit stabler in this pose, but I may be wobbly on my other side. If that occurs, just know that that's perfectly natural. You are not a symmetrical being. Exhale, come all the way down. Let's take a three-legged plank just for a moment. If you can, a three-legged chaturanga. Inhaling up. Exhale, roll over the toes. Inhale, the left leg back, pressing into the wall behind you. Feeling your strength, your core as you reach and extend. Exhale, let's bring that left knee in and up towards our chest, rounding the back, then reach back. Bringing that knee in and up towards our chest, and reach back. Last time, knee in and up towards our chest, and then plant the foot in between our hands. Finding the stability in your low runner's lunge before you rise. This again is the root to rise. As you press down into the earth, lifting up, building upon the pose. Bending that back knee. Straightening that back leg. Bending the back knee. Reaching actively with your fingers. Straightening. Exhale, framing that foot. Coming into a three-legged plank. And then if you're able to, a three-legged chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, roll over the toes. Downward facing dog. We're going to be repeating the process. So bringing your right foot back. Good. Reaching back. Oops. Actively. Good. And then bringing that knee in and up towards our chest. And then reach it back. Knee in and up towards our chest. Reach it back. One more time, in and up towards our chest. And then plant it in between your hands. Finding your stability, inhale up. We're going to add a twist to this pose. We've already prepped our body well with our twist. So I want you to take opposite elbow to that front knee and just begin with this twist. Yes, this can be wobbly. You could also put the knee down, the back knee down. And you can widen your legs apart like railroad tracks. I recommend that you make a fist with the elbow, the arm that has the elbow against the knee, and then cover it with the other hand, pushing down. Good. Excellent. Reaching back with that back heel. Yes, if you feel wobbly or unstable, you could put that that back knee down. Perfectly fine to do this pose. Good. And you could still maintain a twist. This is excellent. Wringing out the body. And again, I like to feel the extremities. So I like to feel the energy coming out of the crown of my head and out through the sole of my left foot. If you're down on your knee, see if you can push yourself up and then coming out of the pose altogether, planting, framing that front foot. Bringing that right leg back, three-legged plank, perhaps three-legged chaturanga. Inhaling up, rolling over the toes, exhaling. Inhale that left leg back, pressing back. Exhale, bringing that knee in and up. Pressing back, reach. Exhale, in and up. Press, reach. And go ahead, last time, that left knee in and up. And then plant that foot in between our hands. Finding your pose. So I'm going to switch sides here. So widen your feet, perhaps. Bring stability to your foundation. Bringing a good base to begin. Inhaling up. Crescent lunge. Go ahead and bend that back knee. Straighten. Bend. Straighten. Opposite elbow twist. And again, remember you could do this with that knee down, making a fist, covering it, wringing out your body. You can do this with your knee down or your knee up. It really depends on where you're at. I like to have the energy extending through the crown of my head and through the sole of my back foot. So I'm elongating and twisting. Good job. That's excellent. Finding the pose that works for you. Release, framing that front foot, pressing down with your hands, coming into that three-legged plank. Perhaps taking a three-legged chaturanga. Inhaling up, exhaling. Let's take child's pose. So widen your knees, bringing your bum back towards your heels, big toes touching, pressing your forehead against the mat. Your hands come back around to your heels, or you can have them reach away from your body, whatever you'd like. I'd like you to breathe onto your back body. Feel the muscles expand on your back body, reminding yourself that you are a three-dimensional body, that your lungs are on your back as well as your front. Good. This is a good place to release any kind of stress. So breathing in and then sighing out. Sometimes audibly sighing out feels just a little bit better. All right, coming into hero's pose, just pushing your hands away from your body and sitting in this kneeling pose. Good. We're going to be doing some core work now, just to get into our belly, into our core, our back core, as well as our front core, rolling over onto one hip, and then coming into boat pose. Boat pose can be done in many versions. you can do a supported boat pose by taking your hands behind the belly of your thigh here, or your quad, and having your heels together and toes out. You could also elongate your legs into this supported boat pose. You could bend your knees tabletop and have your hands unsupported tabletop boat, or straight legs. So you find the one that works for you. We're obviously holding this pose right now, but we're going to be moving this where our legs lower and our upper body lowers but not touch, and then come back up. So you may want to support your body and maybe adjust your hands back as you come back and then come back up. So I want you to do this with your breath. So exhale, elongate, inhale, crunch back up. And if you want to do it just subtly, little movements, that's fine. We're building our strength. We're building our pose. If you are feeling like I really want a workout here, then you may be a little bit more deep, elongating, releasing, feeling your body and its strength as you extend and then contract. So much about how we are living right now has to do with muscular energy and extending and contracting. Expanding, contract. Some of us might feel like we are in this compressed state of being, and that elongation is about to happen. That expansion is about to happen. And perhaps that's the paradigm shift we were talking about earlier. Taking a break, resting, planting your feet. This is a seated cat-cow, where you take your hands and inhale up, exhale round. Inhale up, exhale round. Do this 2 more times. Again, moving your body with your breath. And your breath with your body. We're going to come back to that core, that boat torture. Should I call it Poseidon Adventure or something? I don't know. The Titanic pose? Okay, come back to tabletop. Elongate. Perhaps unsupported. Let's bring it in. Expand out. Maybe you're ready to deepen this pose, elongating it more. I like to take my chin away from my chest when I go back, and I really reach with the top of my head. As I move back and forth, contracting and expanding. I make sure that my shoulders are coming onto my back. Let's take 2 more. 1 more. And there you go. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do this pose. It's like a funky pigeon. I don't know what it's called, except for I love it. So we're going to parallel the top shin with the top of the mat. And the side, the second leg, with the side of the mat. Parallel with the edge. Parallel, parallel. Now, our goal is to have our sternum come over this front quad. This is our beginning of our restorative portion of the class. So you may feel like this is it. I'm not going to be able to do any more because there's a lot of sensation that can occur in this back hip. But if you want to take it a step farther, you just walk your hands and support your torso, and you have flexed feet to come over. Inhale up. Now, what we're going to be doing with this second move is we're going to continue with the theme of wringing out. So I like to, as we practice with the season changes and the weather temperatures changing, I like to continuously wring out the body because I don't want us to bring anything forward into this next season that needs to be done with. So we're wringing out this one by actually having the sternum come in between, like that gap in between the front foot and the back knee. But you can, if you want to increase this move, is to bring the elbow into the sole of that foot. So remember how we did this earlier. But if you feel a tweak in your back, then you come out of it. We don't want to reside in pain. If you are ready to take this further and you're feeling pretty comfortable, then make a fist and then cover it and see if you can elongate your back so the crown of the head reaches one direction and you're twisting. With each breath, my back, I can tell, is releasing and cracking and moaning and groaning and elongating. So it is letting go. Our body stores energy. Energy never dies. Our body holds on to memories. And sometimes it's ready to release. And sometimes we are encouraging it to fly, release. Coming out of that pose, nice work. If you want to take full pigeon, where you straighten up that back leg, it's perfectly fine. If you are wanting this front foot to not be perpendicular or parallel to the top or 90-degree ankles, go ahead and bring that heel in towards our pelvic floor, and then you can sickle that foot. Then you can have the top of the foot down. If you want to take what's called fallen pigeon or bowing pigeon, go ahead and come forward. If this pose is not desired, you're welcome to take this pose on your back, supine pigeon. And that's where you hug I'll demonstrate it. You can bring the sole of the foot into the elbow, and you could just take supine pigeon on your back. Breathing into your back body. Slowly inhaling up, coming out of the pose. And then we're going to, whatever way you want, we're going to come into the other side. So that is where the front shin, so you're on the other hip. So for me, it's the right hip. And your shin is parallel with the top of the mat. And my left shin is parallel with the side of the mat. My feet are flexed. It's like a pinwheel. Okay, sitting tall, we're going to bring the sternum to that right quad, walking over. Inhaling up, and then we're going to begin the twist. If you feel like the twist was too deep before, then go ahead and come into a pigeon pose or supine pigeon. If you're wanting to take the twist, taking your elbow to the sole of your foot, making a fist. Oh, I like that too. Yes, modifying by just twisting. If you want a deeper twist, taking the elbow to the sole, making a fist, covering it, elongating your back with your breath, and then twisting. All right. Coming into a traditional pigeon pose or a supine pigeon. How you doing? You okay? All right. And then, yes, I know. One side is different than the other. I get that. All right. Again, if you don't want to take the full flexed foot in the front, I like to come up to the pads of my back foot, squaring off my hips. Or you can take a supine or a sickling version of that front foot and then coming forward. Fallen pigeon, bowing pigeon. Coming out of that pose, rolling onto one hip, and we're going to meet on our back. So roll over onto your back. Just need to check the time. Oh, we're doing good. I think it's time for me to put on my unicorn socks again. Okay. And go ahead and widen your feet. We're going to windshield wiper our knees, widening your feet at mat width distance, and just one knee in and then the next. Windshield wiper. Good. Taking half happy baby. And you could begin that by elongating your left leg, hovering it over the ground, hugging in the right knee in towards your body. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to take half happy baby by clasping onto the outer edge of that foot, bringing that right knee in towards your armpit, elongating with the left leg. Half happy baby is a lovely pose. It just really stretches out the body, opens up the hips. And then switching sides. So elongating the right leg, hugging the left knee in towards your body. And then half happy baby, clasping on the outer edge of that left foot, bringing that left armpit, knee into the armpit. Hovering the right leg, elongating, stretching, reaching. Breathing. And then go ahead and take full happy baby. Tailbone extends down towards the mat, elongating the spine, rooting the tailbone down, bringing the knees in towards the armpits, bringing the shoulder blades onto the mat, reaching out through the crown of the head, elongating the spine, and breathing. If you'd like, you can rock the baby. Then hugging the knees in towards your chest. Pushing your feet down into the ground. We're going to lift up our hips a bit, shift them over to the left side of the mat. Drop them down. Have the knees come in and up towards our chest and over to the right side. Planting both shoulders onto the mat, overlooking your left shoulder, spinal twist. Breathing. Five breaths into the side body. After your fifth breath, we're going to switch sides. Bring the knees into center line, pushing down with the feet, lifting the hips up, shifting them over to the right side of the mat, having your knees come up towards your chest and then fall over to the left side, planting both shoulders onto the mat, overlooking the right shoulder. 5 breaths into the side body. After your 5th breath, take your final resting pose. If there's anything left that you need to take, go ahead and do it. You have certainly earned a Shavasana. But if you are feeling like an inverted pose is needed, go ahead and do that. Your Shavasana can also be in the form of a seated meditation. Being mindful of your body and space. You are prepped and prepared for a mindful practice, a meditative practice. Sitting well, taking a soft gaze or closing your eyes, and completely surrendering to the earth and being in this moment. Shavasana. Deepening your breath, let your next exhalation be longer and deeper than the last one. Rolling over to your side body, feeling the earth against this new orientation of body. Breathing. Pushing down into the ground and slowly rise into a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Inhaling your arms up and over. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Thank you for joining me this morning in person, online.